Hi beautiful soul, welcome to this Mermaid Pose tutorial. So to start, make sure you grab a yoga mat. If you have yoga blocks, I really recommend it. You could use books instead if you want. And I really recommend a yoga strap. You can always use a belt or something like this. Get started.
Keep pushing you away while I want you to stay. Amazing God is eyes, but my heart still beats.
To get started, you're gonna lay down on your yoga mat and you're gonna hug both of your knees towards your chest and just give your knees some love and just take some time, a little bit before we get into the pose, just to prepare your mind for this beautiful pose and to kind of forget about all the stresses you had throughout the day, whether it's morning or nighttime, wherever you are in the world. And you can close your eyes, take a big inhale and big exhale. Inhale all positivity, energy, and exhale out all your stress from today. Inhale and exhale. And from here, you're going to put your left feet on top of your left thighs. And you're going to grab both of your hands, grab the back of your legs, thighs, and move your leg towards your chest, making sure you engage your left feet and it's not like pointing or like in between. And if it feels painful, please don't bring your feet too close to your chest. Just stop wherever it feels comfortable. But obviously, the closer you bring it towards your chest, the deeper stretch you will feel, which is exactly what we want for this mermaid pose. Now loosen everything and we're going to get to the other side. So putting your left feet on your right thighs, grasping behind your leg, your thighs, and bring them closer towards your chest, making sure again to flexing your feet. You don't need to flex your right feet, but just your left feet. Release everything, and again let's hug ourselves one more time and moving slowly towards the left or the right side of the room, whichever feels more comfortable. You're gonna lift yourself up and go into a seated pose. Here you're gonna place both of your hands towards the front of the yoga mat. You're gonna lift your knees up to get into downward facing dog, making sure your chin is to your chest and bending your knees slightly. From here, raise your right leg and lower it down towards the mat and making sure your left leg is going all the way back towards the room, making sure it's really straight. This is where, if you have a yoga mat, I recommend you to use it. You don't have to. This is really to put under your bum. This is like if you're feeling like your hips are not really straight or if you're feeling in any pain in that area. And let's get a little deeper stretch by moving your hands towards the back of the room so that you can open up your chest, your neck. Just gonna stay here and allow our upper body to open up. Nice. Let's go back to neutral pose, and this time grasp both of your hands behind you to get an even deeper stretch. On your next inhale, go back to neutral pose. And from here, if you feel like it's enough, please stay here. But you could go on your elbows if it feels good, okay? Or even your arms on front of the room and your forehead on the ground. This will be really a much deeper stretch. And from here, we can move towards the left-hand side of the room if you're doing this variation with me. Go back to the center and right hand side of the room. Going back to the center, and let's just rest here a little bit before we get into the mermaid pose. So I hope you're starting to feel a little bit more loose in your upper body and your lower body. So let's go back to a neutral pose, and this is where, if you have a yoga strap, I recommend you to use it. So basically you're gonna, with your left hands, you're gonna grab onto your left feet, and using your yoga strap you will wrap it around your feet. And here we're just going to do a little movement by moving it closer to your thighs and then moving it back. This is basically to open up these muscles, and because we're going to be doing this movement later for the mermaid pose. And here, if you feel like you want a deeper stretch, you can actually pause and just keep it by your thighs to really open up this area. Here you're going to place your feet in your elbows, and then with your right arm you will reach it all the way up and make it grab your other hands. And this is mermaid pose. So if you've managed to do it, well done. And if you haven't, don't feel bad about it. If you keep stretching with me, you'll definitely get it very soon. And I would love to hear all about it in the comments down below. On your next exhale, you will release everything. Remove the yoga strap if you're using it. We're going to go back into a child's pose, just to relax a little bit before we get to the other side, as this can be quite challenging for some people because a lot of people have really tight legs, hips, and very tight upper bodies. On your next inhale, we will slowly get out of this pose, and we will get into downward facing dog. So chin to chest, you can bend your knees slightly. You can have your feet wider apart, your hands wider apart. This will make it a little bit easier, or you can just have it in a normal way. This time we will reach our left leg all the way up and putting it down all the way under our yoga mat, and making sure your right leg is well pointed towards the back of the room. Here, if you wish, you can use the yoga blocks, or again, you don't have to. And we're going to do the same little movements we did. So first, we're going to move our hands and our fingertips towards the back of the room and get a nice stretch of our upper body, our chest, a little bit of our neck. Next inhale, let's go back and let's clasp our hands and get an even deeper stretch. Beautiful, beautiful. So this is where, if you were doing the variation of putting your elbow down, I recommend you to do it. If you didn't, I recommend you to stick to what you did on the other side. So if you as well did like the variation I did, you can, sorry, I was just moving a little bit so I have more space. You can just put your arms forward, lay your forehead on the yoga mat to get an even deeper stretch. If you're doing the variation I'm doing, you can move slightly towards the right to get a nice little stretch of the left hand side of your body. Center, back to center, to the left. back to the center. Let's stay here for a few moments before we get into the mermaid pose on this side. So let's get into the mermaid pose. So if you grab your yoga strap on the other side, I would really recommend you to use it, and you can always do it again next time without it. So putting your feet and pushing it forward, back to open up this area, forward. And let's pause here and put your feet by your elbows, and let's do the mermaid side on this side. I just wanted to mention you can actually do this pose with Samasana pose, which is called the splits pose. So I really recommend you to try it out. I'll actually link it above if you want to check it out, to do the mermaid pose and your splits. And if you feel a little bit intimidated by splits, I actually have a playlist for 7 days to how to get into the splits. So I really recommend you to check it out, and that's where you'll find this pose in the day 5 to be exact. And so let's just relax, take a last pose to kind of relax it all out, and thank yourself for having practiced and for having gotten to the mermaid pose. If you didn't, don't feel bad, you'll get it next time. And if you like this video, make sure you press a like. If you have any comments, make sure you write down below. Subscribe to my channel for future videos. And until the next video, I'm sending you love and wishing you a fabulous end of the day, beginning of the day, wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you in the next video.
Keep pushing you away while I want you to stay. Amazing, God, his eyes, but my heart still beats.